brought out a saying, a couple of years ago when you said guys have to get their athleticism into the game.
Yeah.
Your guys are doing it now, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, it helps we're more athletic, to do it. And, Tay Davis, just being able to get his athleticism. Mo Waggie's a guy. His conditioning is so much better than it was a year ago, and he's able to play athletically. And, no, for sure. Just for someone like Tay to be able to be 6'9" athletic, and also you've seen we put the ball in his hands a lot, and he had 6 assists, no turnovers. So that's for sure. I think having some speed. X a warrior, man. We didn't make a big deal of it because we didn't want to come out, but he had the flu. He's been sick. He's been really sick, and to fight through it. And Nigel was under the weather, but maybe it was a blessing that he got in foul trouble, only played 7 minutes in the first half.
You mentioned that. How key was that stretch? Fix it up with 13 minutes left for the rest of the team. And then when he comes back in the second half, for X to not press.
So we said it at halftime. We gave up 9 threes at half. 9 threes at halftime. And X was in foul trouble and played 7 minutes, and we were up 2. That was what we framed in our halftime. We're like, you guys, we gave up 9 threes, and X played 7 minutes, and we're up 2. We've got to guard the three-point line. We've got to guard the three-point line. A lot of it was in transition. A lot of it was not getting matched up after a made free throw, which are unacceptable. And, man, we gave up 1 3 in the second half. And to me, that was a huge difference. Here's the second thing about value in the ball. We had 6 turnovers in the first half, 1 in the second. I think that's like our third half in like 8 halves. We've had 1 turnover and a half. That's like really elite taking care of the ball. It's a credit to Nigel and X who have the ball in their hands the most.
How much did the couple stretches that Kowal had today really kind of give you guys a lift in those moments?
He gives you that lift, and he just gets. He doesn't. We've seen it. I mean, that's what I saw in the recruiting. He has that high release, and he's getting stronger, getting better defensively, rebounding. He showed one off the dribble today. Got his athleticism into the game. But he's a complete threat. That if Ole Miss makes they switch and they're so physical and they pack it in, and to be able to have a guy like Kowal on that perimeter, if you're packing it in, because you can close out really hard on him, and he's still 6'9" and has that high release.
Reporter, the other night you sounded a little bit frustrated about Mo getting 4 fouls in 14 minutes, but how was it to see him kind of respond with the way he did with career high rebounding today?
Yeah, and I'll tell you this too. Sometimes the tape shows me something different, and all his fouls weren't undisciplined fouls last game, and we talked about it. And I don't want him to get not aggressive. It's just hard for the timing or some of those fouls. Like he got one going in for the offensive rebound. That wasn't even called tonight because the bodies are so big. I don't want you to not go for the offensive rebound, and he ended up getting a foul. He just barely put. So we had a couple fouls that tape showed me. But to answer your question, he's so valuable on the court. He played 28 minutes. Kai and Kirill are still building depth. This is their first SEC game. We're going to need them. But there was points where Mo was just so in tune to what was going on. 15 rebounds, 3 blocks, a steal, orchestrating a lot of defense. So he was really, really valuable, and we're just better when he's on the floor.
He mentioned having Kai and Kirill now lets him play a little bit more freely. I know it's only been a game with both of them, but have you seen that from him, just the way he's kind of responding in practice?
Yeah, and I told him, I said the day we found out that we were going to get Kirill, that he got his visa, my first call was to Mo. I said, hey, man, you're our guy. Don't think I'm trying to you're our guy. This just gives us depth. And then my second one was to Kai. You keep trending. Kirill just adds depth for us. We're going to need all hands on deck going into this league that we're going into. So it's not anything to do with those two. It's just depth at that spot. And Mo, in practice, he might be able to save some reps for him, and keep his body fresh, and to go body against body, to go against each other for practice depth.
Porter, you talked about it a little bit, but only 29 points for Ole Miss in the second half. Just what stood out about the way you guys played defensively, and how important was that to open SEC play with that kind of defense?
I mean, we had to have it because you got to give them credit. They were hitting threes from everywhere. I think Patton Pinkins is one of the premier players in the country as a freshman. That kid is really good. Dia poses so many problems. And he hit 3 threes in that first half because he's such a load on the block because he can spin and he's quick and he's strong. But then when he starts picking and popping, you got to make a decision, and he made you pay. So we really we needed to guard the 3-point line better. I think that is one of the keys to our defense moving forward, is guarding that 3-point line better.
Porter, Chris talked about how this is like an 18-round fight, and you guys won round 1. Just what does it do for you guys just to kind of start off this way, and do these wins, you think, maybe kind of get some more people coming to your guys' games?
It does feel that way. It's just different. Even the last 4 days, preparing for it, watching tape nonstop about Ole Miss, it's just something different. You're looking at the level of intensity, the defenses, the coaching, and Chris is one of the best in the country, and you're watching them defensively be so physical. You can hardly spin. You're getting dig and rake, and to be able to take care of this first one was big for us. And just getting, for your guys, everybody's got a new team, and to get the confidence and get that first one, and so you can move forward. We needed to take care of this one. We needed to win today, but I think winning in this league, one at a time, gives you confidence. I don't care because you're going to go through ruts. It's one at a time. You got to get back up. Like he said, it's 18 rounds. You've got to get back up, and we got to get back up and ready for another dogfight against Mississippi State. Chris is, was my former assistant. He's one of the best defensive, physical coaches. They got elite guards, and I'll get into that nightmare later. Talking about them, I want to enjoy this one today, but it is. You can just feel the difference preparing these last couple days.
Porter, with all that said, the SEC status in the rankings and marquee victories this year is not quite what it was last year when you were the story of college basketball and proved it out in the tournament and whatnot. Whatever the degree the SEC is down, is that good or bad for your basketball team going forward? Look
at anything in life. When you compare something to the best of the best ever, you're never gonna. It's really hard to compare that to them. I'm a Chicago guy. Comparing anybody to Jordan, all right, comparing anything. But you compare it to the last year's SEC. This year's SEC is still number 1 in KenPom. It's still projected to have a number of teams in there that would be second all time in the history of the SEC to last year. I mean, you look at it. It's just the narrative people want to compare it to last year. All right, it's still the best league in the country. Every night is going to be a dogfight. There's elite coaches, elite players, elite atmospheres. It's an easy narrative. You're comparing it to last year, and it's just really hard to compare last year because it was just so over the top last year. But this year is still the best league in the country, and it's gonna shake out that way, in my opinion.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks.